All right, who that nation? What up, man? Back at y'all in another episode. No cap, no filter. Saints. I'm your host Marley G, and tonight we got a special guest, man. Long awaited, man. One of my first YouTubers I started watching when it comes to Saints content. We got my boy Hoodie Jube up in the building, man. How you doing, Hoodie?
I'm doing good. How about you, man?
I'm doing good, man. Like, we got these OTAs going on. We got a lot of different news to talk about. I don't like to make podcasts like every night, like a lot of YouTubers. I like to have a week go by where I can have a whole bunch of topics to discuss. And, I finally got you on the channel and let's get to it. But since I finally got you on the channel, it's your first time on, man. Go ahead and let the people know who you are and what made you become a Saints YouTuber in the first place and what you got going on, man.
Yeah, so if anybody knows me, my name's Hoodie Jube, and the reason why I started my YouTube channel, man, was because I was just, watching YouTube my whole life and just watching people, succeed, watching people the way they make money, and I just thought about myself. I was like, if they can talk football, I can definitely talk some damn football because I'm a talker. Everybody knows me. If you ever meet me in person, man, I don't think I have nobody that literally hates me unless you just really got hate in you. There's nothing, anytime you meet me, I literally can not know you at all, and I can have a hour, 2 hour conversation with you just in public, just randomly if I just met you, because that's just me. I'm just a people person, love talking. So I said, you know what? I said I love my Saints, and I said why not, start my YouTube channel first and try that off with my New Orleans Saints. So started that about 2 or 3 years ago, and ever since, it's just been growing little by little, almost 2K subs. So it's a little slow, progress, but it's getting there. And the reason why I really like it, now more than ever is because I met so many damn people, so many people that you can call family. And the crazy thing is, no cap, I think once you get into it a lot more, once your channel gets a lot bigger, I'm telling you, you're gonna love it because you're gonna notice all of these people, that constantly coming in every damn day you go live. They just stay ready for you, and they supporting you. And I don't know if you noticed, but half of the people, like Jerry, Brother DeWright, Slim Self, all of them, they have me on social media. Some of them have my phone numbers, and we just talk on a daily here and there just to check up on each other. And that's a big thing I like, it's just the connection you make with people, and I've been telling people for a while now, like ever since I started my channel and growing, and I was watching, other big YouTubers, not even sports, just like Mr. Beast and all of them. It just makes me want to work and grind harder because once that money comes in, I can do what Mr. Beast was doing, helping people out, help the community out, because that's what I am. I always put people in front of me. I always try to help them. People's like, why you work 2 or 3 jobs? Because if I didn't, I wouldn't have the money because I take all my money that I make already, pay my bills, and then I try to help other people as well and try to make their days. So that's why I try to tell people it's like I can't wait for this channel to actually grow and you know take off, and especially my main goal that nobody knows because I'm a whodat fan. They got those new suites, remember, on the football field, right? Well, my goal one day is to blow this channel up, get my channel growing to where I got so much money coming in to where I can buy those suites, and every damn season, I have them buy it out to where I can bring all my subscribers and bring people who hasn't been to a Saints game and give them a full experience, on the field, which would be amazing.
That's real dope right there. You spoke on helping giving back to the community and things of that nature. Since you begun your channel, you've been doing like community drives and giveaways. Tell the people about that and you know what you got coming up next when it comes to those things.
Yeah, so a little bit that what I did, I used to do like little tiny giveaways, like Saints cups, um, Saints shirts. I got people. Um, I was telling them I do need to come out with some Saints, hoodie Jube hats. A lot of people want the hoodies, merch, but I haven't done that yet. But once I start doing that, I'm gonna give some free hoodie Jube merch away. Another big giveaway slash, I guess you can not call it giveaway. It's more of a fundraiser slash donation. We did the children hospital, for New Orleans, and we raised some money, and it was my first time ever, doing this, and we actually got to raise $700 worth, of stuff for the children hospital, and that was about a year or two ago, and we literally went to the store and bought $700 worth of stuff, for kids and babies and stuff like that. So, they can have all the supplies and all the stuff, to have fun and have good Christmas stuff, for the ones that are suffering, inside the children's hospital. So, there's many more, more things that I do want to accomplish on our channel is, raise some money, feed the homeless, out there. And I don't know if you know on Twitter, Mr. Nader. I think that's how you say his name.
Hmm.
But he does a lot of, that usually feeds the hungers every Thursday or whatever. I try to want to start doing what he's doing, try to do it like once a week, but probably, slowly, probably do once a month. And then once I can get that money rolling, and, we can do that every week. But like I said, there's so many things that I want to do in the community to help out. And I think one of my dreams was just because after watching, YouTube videos on them, the Make a Wish, how John Cena's got over like 600 and plus, granted, I mean, I would love to be, to where I have a fan that's, says my one wish is to meet Hoodie Jube. And if I can be able to do that, grant the kids, wish, that would be amazing. Also, I did come up with an idea. I have been talking to people about it. And I told him, I said, what if I can go to like a children's hospital or something like that, with a kid, is a huge Saints fan, maybe one of their wishes just to go see a Saints game and see if I can talk to their parents and see if I can bring, the kid and the parents to the game. Cause I think that would be a fun experience as well, just to give it, an experience that it's not being able to have as much because it's, sick all the time in a hospital. So those are like a few things, that I do on my channel as giveaways and slash, fundraisers and donations.
Yeah, man, that's real dope right there, man. A lot of what you represent is kind of fitting with the jersey you got on right now when it comes back to giving back with the community and just helping other people that's in less fortunate situations. But let's go ahead on and get into before we gonna get into trending topics and OTAs. Let's just get into some just fan talk amongst the Who That Nation itself. Like when it comes to the Who That Nation right now, I think we at a time where it's like three different sets of groups. It's your optimistic fans who just gonna, root for the team and root for what's best and just be on the bright side looking in, glass a half full mentality. And then they got your other fans who they're perceived as negative, but their thoughts ain't as optimistic as others. And if things go south, they kind of look at that as a plus, because they could get on with the new era. And the new era is mainly between, head coach quarterback combination. And then they got your fans who they're not really much invested on neither side. Whatever happens is going to happen. If they win, cool. If they lose, cool. They're just going to still watch the game casually. They're not too much involved in Saints Twitter. They're not involved in YouTubers. They're just gonna watch the game on Sundays, crack open the beer, and let the chips fall where they may. Of course, when it comes to Saints Twitter, I'm on that. I'm on that side where I'm perceived as negative. I'm perceived as a fake fan. I'm perceived as a whole bunch, a lot of things that people call me, but I'm just voicing my opinion. And on your side of the spectrum, you just that glass half full mindset person, very optimistic, and you just gonna want the best for the team every single game. Let's talk about those three different groups of this whole Who That Nation we got going on now compared to what we had when it was Drew Brees and Sean Payton, and it was just everybody was just optimistic. Everybody just had hopes for the playoffs. Everybody was just loving the head coach, even though he could have been an asshole. But at the end of the day, he got the results. Drew Brees, everybody loved Drew Brees. It was just a different time when it came to the fan base. But now it's just we like ripped it apart. Give me your take on what's going on right now in the Who That Nation fan base.
Yeah. So basically the, cover that it's just like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. There might be four different, type of people too. Because I want to add one. Because they got people who are like me, which I think, you can say I'm more on the positive side. I just want the best thing to happen. But I'm also on the side, not the negative side part, but basically kind of say like, I know, Derek Carr, I know Dennis Allen haven't proven it. And if they don't prove it this year, hey, we need to look something else because this is your chance. You change up the whole offense. Now there's no more Pete Carmichael, there's no more Sean Payton in it. So this is your year. If you don't do shit, then hey, we need to do it. Instead of just, oh well, give him another chance. Give him another chance. I'm one of those people that are wanting him to prove me wrong because that's just me. Like I always tell people, no matter what, I'm always gonna die right, black and gold. Um, and I tell people like I just feel so positive about my team, no matter what, just because it's my Who That Nation. I want to support them. And at the end of the day, like I tell people, if I don't like somebody, especially like the head coach or somebody, the only thing I can say is to say, hey man, I don't like Dennis Allen. I don't think he's doing good. But all I can say is I hope he damn changes around. I hope he proves my ass wrong, because I want to start, believing in my Saints again more than what I used to. Like Drew Brees and Sean Payton when they were here. I just want to believe that I can make the playoffs no matter what. But then they got people who just hate people with all their guts, right? And they just like, hey, they got to get their ass out of here. I'm not a fan. Like, I'd rather lose and get a better draft pick and get rid of his ass and then start off fresh with a new coach. Which, they got people out like that too. The only thing between me is just I'm always, as a fan, I always think like, how could a fan think like that? How could you want your team to lose just to get somebody out of here? Because it's only one or two people. It's Derek Carr or it's Dennis Allen. It's only like two people that you're really trying to get out. So that's why I always ask you, it's like, how do you cheer against them? Because like I said, at the end of the day, the only thing I can say on my positive side is just like, hey, prove my ass wrong. Show me that you can win games. Show me that what you just brought in will work, and so is that you can make it to the playoffs. So is that you can make it further into the playoffs. Matter of fact, show me that you can at least make it to the NFC Championship. And if you can prove me that, and you can actually not be a little punk, when being interviewed and trying to blame people and throw people on the bus, and apologize to our damn rivalry team, if you can just change stuff around, I feel like Who That Nation might not be hating on you as much. Maybe they'll come back to you. But like I said, but then they got people out there, no matter what you do, no matter if you win the Super Bowl, I don't think they're gonna change their mind. They just don't like you, and they just people out like that. And then, like you said, then they got people who's in the middle who just don't even care. They don't even care. They're like, I don't believe in it. But then again, I also could believe in it. But at the end of the day, I'm just gonna watch football. I just really don't care. I don't know why y'all arguing. Because you always see the people arguing on Twitter, and then the people like, who cares? Like, why the fuck y'all arguing? We're gonna win or we're gonna lose? It's pretty funny how
And
they
it's
get in
crazy
between
because the people who's less invested are probably the most sane people. Because I think about us being so much invested, I think it kind of like shows our fanatic or fanatic. Because a fan is a fanatic. And by us being so much invested, it kind of brings up our passion. And when our passion is on the line and our feelings are on the line, our emotions are on the line, we didn't spend money on this team, we didn't travel for this team, and when things just don't go our way, we like to voice our opinions. And those people who don't have that much invested into it, like those other two groups, they're like, y'all tripping, is not all that serious. But when you're just a fan like you just grew up on the Saints, you eat, breathe, and sleep Who That Nation, you a fan like me, same thing. You can't help it. It's literally embedded in our DNA. Like we emotionally attached to this team. And that's another thing about the side that I'm on. Like, I am emotionally invested and attached to this team. So yes, I'm perceived as a negative fan, but when it comes to the side that I'm on, I'm kind of like in between the wanting to see them lose. So maybe Clint Kubiak could just be like the interim head coach and take over, and even if it's like within week 7, I would like that, but at the same time, at the end of the day, if they're winning, and they're on a roll and they're putting together some wins, I'm not gonna say, oh well, I hope they start losing so Dennis Allen could get fired. Like, it's like really nip and tuck with me, like when it comes to that, on both sides of the spectrum. But I'm very passionate about the team. Like, how could I be a fake fan if I got a YouTube on this team? How could I be a fake fan if I tweet so much about this team? Like, I don't know that many people who tweet about the Saints as much as me on Saints Twitter. There's a lot of people who do tweet just as much as me, and probably a handful that tweet more. But by me tweeting that much, I could never be a fake fan, and I could never root for another team. Like, I just want what's best for this team. It's no different than two parents in 2020 when one side want to get the shot, but the other side don't want to get the shot. Don't mean that this side ain't wrong. They just think in their head that's what's best. No different than people who want Trump to get back in the office. In their head, they think this is what's best for this country. But in other people's head, they like, no, this is not what's best for this country. This is detrimental to us. So, you might have a different opinion, but just because you want Trump to quote unquote get impeached when he was in office, don't mean that you just want America to fail, So that's how I kind of look at it. Them analogies probably wasn't the best of examples, but I feel like, what's going to happen with this team is already written out right now. We just waiting to see what's going to happen, and whatever the chips fall, It don't matter to me because if I get proved wrong, and which I don't think this is gonna happen. If they go to the Super Bowl, I'm not gonna be crying saying, "Oh man, Hoodie Jew, man, he gonna get that damn that meal that we had made that bet on." He gonna be talking about all the people that was just not believing and all that. Man, we won the Super Bowl, man. How could I be so stupid and had these people prove me wrong? No, I'm gonna be jumping with joy. But if he gets fired and Clint Kubiak comes in and be the interim head coach and he just changes the culture, changes the locker room, a lot of the players start to respect him, I'm gonna be all for it. So that's just where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I mean, and to be honest with you too, like the only thing, because I talked about this on my show the other night too, it's like the New Orleans Saints. I don't think you can ever go back in the history of the New Orleans Saints era and go look back at it and say, well, this coach got fired halfway through the season. This quarterback was so booty, we got rid of him. I think the Saints are a team that always, you know, plays it out through the season, and then they decide at the end, like, if we want you or not, because they gave Pete Carmichael, 2 seasons, and then finally, after the season was over, you finally got rid of him, even though all season long it was booty cheeks. Basically, maybe the last 5 games will look better, but at the same time, what about the rest of the season we had last season? It was still booty cheeks. So it's like I don't think we're ever gonna see them fire somebody halfway through the season, even though we might be, but I think they're just gonna wait to the end of the season and then change. But that's something that I feel like who that nation is, and that's the one thing I think I love it but hate it at the same time. It's like I love it because at least you're giving the team an opportunity to try to prove your own throughout the season. You might start off slow and then you finish off strong, which is a good thing. But then at the same time, it's not a good thing because what if it happens every single season? It's the same shit. Then you're like, I see him getting better. But like I said, they just got to prove it's all wrong. Cause like I said, there's some fans out there that are literally negative about it and saying, I don't want us to win, because I want this. But at the same time, they just got to prove me wrong. If they can prove me wrong and win, they said, then maybe I can jump back on the wagon. But right now, 2 seasons, just haven't showed me nothing. A lot of people. So like in my head, I let that Dennis Allen, when he first started as a head coach with the Raiders, right? One of the worst organizations, only had 4 wins per season. And then he got fired after the first 4 games, because he started, I think, 0-4 again, and then boom, got fired. Then came to the Saints with his good defensive minded host on Peyton, bringing the Saints back up from a 7-19 to 13 wins, 11, 12 wins, because the defense was finally back. So then I thought, okay, he matured, he's different. So let's see how he does with us now. Well, then what happened? We go 7-10, and then last year he went 9-8. But then, a lot of people's like, fuck this, man. This is shit. Like, without Sean Payton, we ain't nothing. And then I just look at it at a different way than some people. Some people just look at it like 7-10. That's horrible, bro. You're terrible. But I also like to go back into the season and look at everything that happened. Whether the quarterback got injured, look who we had. Like I think it was the first year when we had Jameis Winston, right? And he got hurt, and then they put Andy Dalton in all season long. People was like, "Oh yeah, you beat the Eagles, but they didn't have Jalen Hurts." Okay, we didn't have Jameis Winston that game, did we? We had Andy Dalton playing. It was Andy Dalton versus Minshew, and matter of fact, I think Minshew is a better quarterback than Andy. You know, but there's so many things that I like to look at when I watch the game, and I will go back and look at the season, what happened, whether this person got hurt, whether this, and then I also look at it as okay, him as a first time as a head coach, this dude can only get 4 wins, and that was with a shitty team. I said this is team, he actually got players and actually got a good team around, it was built around. And I said, then you went to 7 wins, in your first season as the Saints, which is 3 more wins than what you normally would. And then last season, even though everything went down. You had a bad quarterback. Then you playing teams with backup quarterbacks that they hurt too, so it was kind of like a crappy schedule too. But at the same time, he still somehow got 9 damn wins with a terrible offense too. So I looked at it, I was like, okay, well, you just, basically doubled or not doubled. You basically got the same amount more wins last season than you did in 2 seasons as a head coach, with the Raiders. So I just see him like it's getting better and getting better. So like a lot of people think I'm crazy, some people say, "Oh, you're delusional." I'm not delusional. I just got hope. I just see a lot of things. I try to make the big picture of everything. So I said, if we can get wins last season and get 9 wins, we went 9-8 with a terrible offensive coordinator that was so predictable, um, with a hurt quarterback that I totally agree with everybody should have fucking sat down and rest and let Jameis have his opportunity, and hold it down while he got healthy, because that wasn't smart, because if you get tackled and all that, you're gonna get hurt again. and get worse, and it did. He got had games where he had to come out and get pulled out again, which is the dumbest shit. But at the same time, I do put in, to the thing. You're hurt. He's not the 100% quarterback. I don't give a damn. Like me, I rank Derek Carr between 15 and 20 in quarterbacks right now. And if I say he's about 15, 20, he's mid. And if you got your throwing shoulder hurt, you going down to almost a 30-second quarterback in the league because you can't do shit. You're not healthy. You're not going to throw it deep, or if you do go it deep, it's not going to be accurate. It's going to be like you're limited. So you basically like a down tier quarterback. So we were playing with a down tier quarterback, basically to me, with a terrible offense, but the defense was doing what they had to do. And at some points, you watch some of these games, it's like, dog, we're going into the fourth quarter, only losing by 10 points when we should have been getting smashed, but our defense is holding us in. And then by the end of the game, when you finally started getting your rhythm in the fourth quarter, your defense got tired and they allowed, touchdowns at the end because they were tired. So I look at it as now it's like, okay, now we got a Clint Kubiak coming in, a guy who is a proven offensive coordinator, who's a guy that last time he was a offensive coordinator, with the Vikings, he actually had Kirk Cousins up to like 4,300 yards, had a Dalvin Cook at 1,300, and had a Justin Jefferson at like 1,700. So like he knows how to run an offense. His dad's been running this offense in the league. The funny thing is, him and Shanahan's offense is almost identical. And the crazy part, then he went with Shanahan for a few years, as their quarterback coach and all that, and learning everything. And it was just crazy when you think about it. It's like now you get a little bit of mix of a Shanahan, and you see the Kubiaks in the Shanahan offense. They've been working in the league for years. So to see that come here, to bring different things to help out our quarterback too. Because remember, a lot of people like, well, Derek Carr is like 15 through 20. Some people think he's worse than that. But if you do and you look at it, anybody that plays for the 49ers or anybody that was in a Kubiak offense that's a quarterback, they get helped out because it's a quarterback, it's a quarterback system for you because you're not having to do everything. They doing so many motions, they doing so many play actions, they're doing so many different things to get this defense guessing to where all you got to do, if I'm gonna bring my boy in motion, if he's following his boy, you already know he's in man. Now you just got to figure out, what type of coverage they in now. Are they in a cover 2 man? What are they gonna be in? So that kind of helps the quarterback out right from the get though. Oh, okay, he's in man. Let's okay, I like to play, or you can change up the play. The other thing I like about Clint coming here. Run game. He wants to get our running game back. And that's one thing we've been missing. Why? Everybody's been saying, oh, Kamara's aging. He ain't doing good. Or is the coordinator we had the last 2 years, Pete Carmichael, just wasn't utilizing Kamara like we needed to. And the O line was not looking good, as well. Like everything was just terrible. Run game was terrible. So to have, and the reason why I said terrible, even worse, how the hell does Jamal Williams go from a 17 touchdown running back to a 1 touchdown at the end because we forced it in there? It's like that's how I knew something was up with the offense last year because of that. So I feel like this year, Williams, by the way, anybody want to bet? Go bet on it right now. Williams will have more than 1 touchdown this year. I say he's gonna have 2 at least. That's what I would bet on. If you can go bet that in Vegas, go bet it. And then I think he's gonna utilize Miller and all of them. And the other thing that made my heart just like so happy the other day was hearing that Clint Kubiak reached out to Taysom Hill when he signed and told him, I hope what we're gonna be utilizing you for. You're gonna be used a lot more because he knows what he's got in Taysom Hill. When we had Pete Carmichael over the last 2 years, why the hell you didn't utilize him? And it literally says, anytime we use Taysom Hill more than 7 times in a game, you hand it off to him. We were like 15-1 or 14-2, whatever it was. We was winning. Why not do the same, right? So to see a Clint Kubiak come in, help change the offense. I told myself, and I told my people as well. Shit, if you can go, and I'm using this as an example because I don't remember exactly where our offense was ranked last year. I just said, let's say the offense was ranked 25th in the league. If Kubiak comes in here, just get us up to the 20th, maybe 15th, just get us 5-10 spots up in offensive ranking, dude. Some of those games that we lost that were just terrible because we couldn't even score, and some of them games we still lost by like a single digit. Some of those games are gonna flip to wins. I feel like. So that's why I said I do think, as a Saints fan, from 7 wins to 9 wins, and now you got a better offense now. I feel like you can go to 10, 11, 12 wins. I think you can get up in that range. But it's the NFL. Anything can happen. And I always try to tell people because it's hard to do, predictions, right? You don't know what the hell is going to happen. But I always try to tell people when I first do my prediction, they're like, how the hell you guys going 12 and this? And like, this is insane. Like, are you crazy? And I'm like, well, I'm doing this as if everything went normal. No injuries. Lattimore still on the team. Clint Kubiak offense working. if everything's happening and nothing's wrong and everything's just good, this is what I see the record being. Now, some people's like, oh, we're gonna get smashed by the Eagles. How you know? Who said Jalen Hurts don't get hurt in game one? You don't know what the hell we're playing until we actually get to that exact day and say, this is who's available, this is who didn't get hurt, this is who's ready to play. So it's hard to do predictions and stuff like that. But that's why me as a Saints fan, I just feel so positive about it, just because I feel like we already know what Dennis Allen is good at. We know his defense is amazing. Like a lot of people, they got some people saying, hey, man, fire Dennis Allen and then bring his ass back as defensive coordinator. And I told them, I said, why fire him? Just tell him to drop down, just put him as DC and just tell him, hey, man, we gave you your head coaching chances. It didn't work out. You haven't showed me anything. We're going to bring somebody else in here and bring in somebody that's an offensive minded, like Clint Kubiak. Let him try. And that's another thing about Clint Kubiak. I think he's going to help Dennis Allen out a little bit more just because the man holds everybody accountable. And you heard Derek Carr straight out of his mouth. I like how he's holding me accountable and stuff. And like he literally said, if we're not running this thing right, we're running it back to back to back until we get everything right. And it's not just walk through, get it right. No, it's full speed, get it right. And that's another reason why I believe in this offense, coming up. And I do think we got a lot of playmakers that just wasn't able to get used last year just because, like I said, play calling was just terrible. So I think that's the reason why I feel so positive about our team. But like I said, then I understand a lot of people's side too why they pissed off. Like I said, the last two seasons just wasn't the prettiest for us, and we so used to winning with a Drew Brees and a Sean Payton. We used to saying, we in the playoffs, and the last 2 years we just been sitting on the couch, not in the playoffs. So,
right. I mean, you made a lot of valid points and a lot of logical points, but I feel like when it comes to this league, it's really quarterback driven. It's really, head coach driven. Like when these guys and these media people give us these record predictions for our team and we get to saying why they got us going that, it's mainly because the head coach and the quarterback. And we just had like another quarterback. He don't even have to be all that good. He could just be like a Jared Goff. And we can have another head. Put it like this: you take Jared Goff and you take Dan Campbell and you put it on this team, Vegas will have us with more wins just because those guys are considered better coaches and better quarterbacks. But that's just how I feel. And sometimes it ain't even much about your play; it's about your mindset. Just like Josh Hart. Like I don't think Josh Hart is going to be a player who's just going to get multiple All-Star appearances, but his heart. He's a guy that players would like to play with and play for. It's just a mindset thing. Anthony Edwards, like he just got that dog mentality in him that, a lot of people feel like Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson don't have. So it ain't just about your play. It's about your heart and, do guys want to play for you? And, how are you towards other people and what people think of you? Like that's literally the difference between Jameis Winston and Derek Carr. So it's a reason why a lot of people are just beloved with Jameis Winston versus when it comes to Derek Carr. Like people don't feel like he's embracing the city. And I'm gonna say this: I gave Dennis Allen his fair shot. I gave Derek Carr his fair shot. Like when we first got Dennis Allen, I said, okay, cool. We got a smash mouth football coach. He's going to be about defense. He's going to bring grit because I felt like the Saints were just a finesse team for so long. I said, okay, we're going to be a smash mouth football team. I thought that we were going to be successful like the Titans. Like I thought Dennis Allen were going to be like a Mike Vrabel. And I just thought just off the roster alone, and the organization alone, all that stuff with the Raiders won't matter. But sometimes it does matter. And sometimes that really shows you what type of head coach you are because the adversity that you're faced up against with injuries, with the locker room, kind of ripped it apart. Like, how can you fix this? Things of that nature. With a bad offensive coordinator, sometimes you got to see things that's going bad and you got to fix it immediately, paying attention to the details. And I gave those guys a fair shot. I was one of those guys who's just like you, believe it or not, Hoodie. I just ain't have a channel back then. And I was voicing a lot of my opinions on Saints Twitter. I was voicing my opinions in people comments. I used to be in Matt Moscona comments saying, man, Matt Moscona, I don't think you should be looking at it like this. If we got Derek Carr coming in, that's going to be Dennis Allen's guy. Like, I feel like a head coach has to have their guy to be successful. And I said, even though I like Jameis, if Jameis is not Dennis Allen guy, then if Derek Carr is his guy, we gotta be better. you know, and yeah, we did win 2 more games, but I felt like last season was just as same as a disappointment as the season before, even though we won 2 more games. But I was the guy that was in Matt Moscona comments saying, yeah, man, you gotta give Dennis Allen and Derek Carr a chance, man. Just because they was like this don't mean they could just change things around. You know, we could really go see what can happen with this team. But at the end of the day, sometimes though, you are who you are no matter the circumstances. And this whole time I was thinking Matt Moscona was being negative. He just voicing his opinion that's different than mine. And I'm just kind of in my feelings because he just see things for what it is to him in his perspective. He's still going to root for the team, but I was like, man, no way he could think like this. We got Michael Thomas, we got Derek Carr, we got Jawan Johnson. Derek Carr get all the tight ends that he played with paid. We got Michael Thomas. He's finally going to be healthy this season. He's going to be coaching up Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara. Man, look, they telling me that Derek Carr, he's more fit for this offense than Jameis Winston. He's going to be able to audible with like 4 different plays when he get to the line of scrimmage. They're telling me all these things. I'm like, man, how could Matt Moscona be thinking like this? And he said this before the season started. And I'm like, man, ain't no way. But it all came to fruition. Sometimes you are who you are. And my turning point, my very turning point, why I started rooting for us to lose so Dennis Allen could get fired, or it was a better chance that he get fired, was when we lost that Vikings game, Hoodie. When we lost that Vikings game, that just took the soul out of me. I just had an epiphany, and I just said, man, no matter what, I don't think we're going to win anything of significance as long as Dennis Allen has him. I mean, as long as Dennis Allen is the head coach. And TJ on his podcast, he talked to multiple people that's in the media and that has played in the league, and they told him the same thing. As long as Dennis Allen there, he's not going to be there. Even on T-Bob's show, he had I forgot who he had on his show. It was one of those ex-players. And he said, man, y'all going to win about the same amount of wins, maybe 9 wins, maybe 7, but it's going to be fun when you guys win. But as long as y'all got Derek Carr and Dennis Allen there, and he played with Dennis Allen. Like, a lot of the evidence is already out there on this guy. Amy Trash said what exactly happened when he was on the Raiders, and his first speech as a head coach turned everybody off. Like, it's just a lot of irrefutable evidence. Even when the players went, like the league, they do these voting things when it comes to GMs across the league and when it comes to locker rooms across the league. And all the players, yes, you said those locker room leaders like Demario Davis and Tyrann Mathieu came to his defense, but I don't look at them. Even I hate Dennis Allen, but if I played with the Saints, I wouldn't get on nobody podcast and talk crazy about Dennis Allen because it's a certain professionalism you got to carry yourself with. You know, if this you're going to be your head coach and you're rolling with him, you just got to say the politically correct things, and you just got to don't throw nobody under the bus. That comes with being a man too. Like, you don't want to say nothing negative about somebody that's even when they're not around. Even if you would say it to their face, just don't say them to them when they're not around. And that's the type of vibes that Demario Davis and Tyrann Mathieu give me. Plus, not to mention, these guys are in the latter parts of their years. They're just trying to go out there, play ball, and have fun, and just trying to go for it. So, you know, no matter how bad the head coach is going to be, they're just going to be riding because they just love the game of football, and they want to show how to carry yourself and be a leader and be a pro's pro. But I factor in a lot of things, though, Hoodie. Like, I factor in injuries. You know, I think that we're missing Michael Thomas, who's a dog. He's that guy who could really like make contested catches. I think Chris Olave is a beast, but I think he's more of a Devontae Smith type of guy. I think he's more of a Tyler Lockett type of guy. He's going to be solid, but would he ever just be in that upper echelon of when you just talk about him as top 3, top 5? I'm not sure about that. You know, Jalen Waddle, once he got Tyreek Hill, he slid into that number 2 spot. Like all these teams, you know, they had brought in that alpha dog. And I really think you need that when it comes to Yak, when it comes to just a guy you could just count on. Plus, we got to still hope that he don't deal with the concussions again. Because if he get like 2 more, that could be like career threatening. But just because he's solid don't mean, I'm not saying he's bad. Like Brandon Cooks, he's had 1,000 yards a lot. But a lot of people won't just say he's one of the top elite guys, but he had success everywhere he went. You know, so we got still question marks with the offensive line. We got a kicking battle going on right now. We got a punting battle going on right now. We got so many question marks. You know, a lot of these guys are going to attack this left tackle that was brought to right tackle now. This right tackle that's brought to left tackle now. We still don't know who's going to be starting that guard. We just hopeful for a lot of things. Yes, Clint Kubiak is going to look like a whiz kid compared to Pete Carmichael, but that's not saying much because Pete Carmichael was just trash. And I don't think it was just Pete Carmichael. I think it was Derek Carr holding on to the ball too long. I think it was Pete Carmichael not simplifying things because just because Drew Brees could run this, don't mean that the next quarterback is going to be as cerebral. So I feel like yes, he's going to be in a more quarterback friendly offense, like you say, because it's more simpler. Um, and it's going to be more run heavy, and Taysom is going to be used to his advantage more. But it's still a whole lot of question marks with the special team. You could have a good offense and a good defense, but if your special team's bad, that could cause you to lose games. If your coach is bad and don't know how to, make changes on the fly, like don't come out in the second half and make changes. Make these changes on the fly, and it ain't just about what he does on the defense in this game. It's about what he's doing throughout the week. So like when people say, "Oh yeah, he just got to worry about the defense and he worry about the offense," I don't believe in that. I really don't. I think a whole lot more goes into being a head coach than more people giving it credit for. Like he's the final decision maker on everything. And when you say Derek Carr injury, I don't blame Derek Carr on that. Of course, he's going to want to go out there and play. Jameis did the same thing, but it's up to Dennis Allen to pull him. I think if Derek Carr wouldn't have played the Bucs game and Jameis wouldn't have played the Bucs, we probably had a better chance at winning. It's a reason why he was throwing past behind the line of scrimmage to Alvin Kamara all those times. He's hurt. I feel like that was another very critical bad decision on Dennis Allen, which was a division game right after the Green Bay loss. So it's just big time decisions when it comes to Dennis Allen that I just feel like we'll never win anything significance of him. On top of that, you got to think about the schedule that we had and the breaks that we had. Even if Derek Carr was healthy throughout the season, I still think we probably would have had 9 games if the opposing quarterback was playing. So it's still you got to think about a lot of those things in a factor. And then we're hoping on these guys to go to the playoffs and make a Super Bowl run. You got to win 4 to 3 games in a row to do that against the best of competition. Dennis Allen never won more than 3 games in a row in his whole career. So you got to think about stuff like that. So that's what I feel.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think most of the stuff you're saying is like 100% true. Like you were saying, Derek Carr. A lot of it's on him, for playing like shit last year, but also it is a lot on Dennis Allen because hey, you're the head coach, pull the guy if he's not healthy, right? But I do think I'm not gonna lie to you, I do think with the way Clint Kubiak is holding his offense accountable, like right away, I think this season you're gonna see a lot of shit. Like I really do see if Derek Carr literally goes down with another shoulder injury or some type of shit, I think Clint Kubiak is gonna go straight to Dennis Allen and tell him, "We ain't doing the same shit that Pete Carmichael did, and just let you just keep Carr in like he wants." I know he wants to play bad. I know he's a tough son of a bitch, but hey, he's not gonna win us game with this shit. Dude, we got to put somebody that's healthy, that's gonna have an arm, and that's gonna be able to run this offense. I feel like that's how Clint's gonna be. I don't think he's gonna take any dumb
So if that
bullshit.
does happen, are you team Jake or you team Spence?
Well, it doesn't matter to me because I'm a whodat fan, right? I don't care. I love Spencer. I did a little video on him and kind of watched him, did some film study on him, and he's got like probably the biggest upside over Jake Hanna just because of the arm talent and all that. Another reason why I think he's got a lot more upside than him too is because he played in that type of offense before with South Carolina when he played, so he kind of gets it. The only thing is he hasn't played in the NFL. I don't know if a lot of people noticed they've been saying he's been throwing picks, in practice, Spencer Rattler. But at the same time, he is practicing and playing with the third strings, while Jake Henderson in the second strings right now, and Derek Carr, who your starting quarterbacks out there was your starter, so it is a little bit harder, playing with some third string people. But at the same time, man, it's only gonna make him better because Dennis Allen, and we already know what how good their defense is. It's gonna help out the offense. And what I love about the Mario Davis interview, I don't know if y'all watched his interview from the other day, but he said it out his mouth himself. He said, yeah, he said that Clint Kubiak offense definitely nothing to play with, but he also said it's helping us out because he said these are plays that we normally see, when the season comes and when we're playing against teams like this. He said we usually don't see that in practice because why? Because you had dumbass play calling shit just like regular plays. Now you're actually seeing real plays that you're gonna see in real games, which is just gonna help them, be able to guess and predict, more at when they play other teams. So I think that's something else that's gonna be exciting. Another thing I wanted to say, about the Demario Davis, Tyrann Matthew sticking up for him and stuff like that. those people, I would believe them all day over anybody, right? Because those are real leaders. They've been leaders on other teams, been captains on other teams. Demario's been here. He's the man, the guy. By the way, him and Derek Carr are going to be doing that little church get together thing. That's going to be fun. I wish that I could go, but I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. But that's going to be something fun to see. And that's something else that I've been seeing a lot this year too. Like, I don't know if you've been watching a lot of the interviews and listening to them, but Derek Carr sounds more excited, especially with the Clint Kubiak, type of offense coming in here. He said this season so far, this off season has been so much more easier. He said the playbook he's learned from Clint Kubiak, he's ahead of schedule with it because he's not having to move here to New Orleans trying to find schools for his kids, do so many different things that he needs to do as this a father figure, and try to learn the playbook of Pete Carmichael and stuff like that. So I feel like he's like, I believe him when he's saying that, he's ahead. And then I was like, okay, cool. But then the thing that kind of got to me was when Mario was speaking. He was like, y'all don't understand how close me and Derek Carr really are. And he said, he is trying to adapt to the city and trying to do what's best for the city and stuff. And he said, and Demario Davis said this out his mouth on the video, saying, I've been trying to do this type of church thing, for a while since I've been here, but I just haven't had the right person to run it with, to do the church thing with. And he's saying, right when he started hanging out with Carr this past off season too, and started talking about more things, he said him and Carr and them got so much alike, and they've been hanging out a lot more. And he said he knew right then and there that was the right person to run this church thing with. That's just like bringing me a lot of hope. Like, he actually believes in Carr. Carr's actually trying to buy into the city more and all that. So I think we're gonna see a different type of saint. That's what makes me happy. Now, if I was just hearing this regular shit that we was hearing last year, I wouldn't have as much, hope. I would just be like, yeah, Clint Kubiak's offense, I think that's going to help. Can, the team hold itself? But I'm just hearing so much positivity stuff right now. But now you can listen to what people say, but like they said, you got to see it happen for me to believe it. There's a lot of people out there that wants to see it to believe it, which is me too. I want to believe it and I want to see it, but I'm also a person that likes to listen and I like to hear things to see if things change. And you can tell with the way they were talking from last year and the way they talking this year, people seem a lot excited. Like, if you hear all the interviews, people sound more excited this offseason. Even your people that are doing what you want to call them, the reporters, like Ross Jackson, Nick Underhill, they all sound more excited, with the Clint Kubiak and so many different things you can do. And I think it's going to be like a really fun season. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's the NFL. Anything's going to happen, and all I can pray is if my Saints win. I just want to win. I just want to go to the Super Bowl. I want to win the Super Bowl again. I'm tired of waiting because we got stolen a few of them. I ain't gonna mention those anymore because we don't want to remember that. We want to get that out of our heads. But at the end of the day, I think we got a good shot, man. I think we got a good shot.
Yeah, man. When it comes to Clint Kubiak coming in, he's gonna, off rip, just bring a lot of excitement because the offense that he's bringing in. Like, Pete Carmichael, he's been here to 18 years, ain't really just been getting no offensive coordinator interviews. So that says a lot right there. And the guy, he didn't really want the job. So to me, like, another bad decision by Dennis Allen bringing him back after the first season. Like, it just it's just a whole lot. Like, we started practicing in the red zone even more like towards the later part of the year, not getting Jimmy Graham involved when he should have been, not getting Jamal Williams involved when he should have been, not using Alvin Kamara on those Texas route, not using Alvin Kamara in the slot, especially after Michael Thomas went down. Like, it's just a whole lot that I just say, like, man, Dennis Allen could have just fixed a whole bunch of this and, got us back on track way early in the offseason, like just too little too late. And I don't really I don't put no stock into those 4 out of 5 games. We already seen what happened when we went against Matthew Stafford and we went against Sean McVay. Like, out-coached, outclassed, outplayed. Like, because that's a good team. And I'm not putting no stock in the empty calorie yards at the end. Like, I'm not putting no stock in those games because we played a bad Carolina team. And I feel like if Andy Dalton would have played that game, we probably would have won. And, Adebo had that real touchdown-saving tackle on Miles Sanders in that game, and I really felt like that changed the whole game. If Miles Sanders would have went for the touchdown, I think we probably would have lost. We beat the Bucs. That was a good win. I give them that. That was a pretty good win, and we beat the Falcons, who, I know a lot of those fans and those in that stadium was like me. They wanted Arthur Smith up out of there, and that's just what I want. Like, I just want, if it happens, I just want a new culture to come in. I want a new era to come in. And I know those Raiders fans, I know those Chargers fans, and I know those Atlanta fans are just excited for what's to come for the the upcoming season when they got that new head coach, because you know the unknown brings excitement. That's why we're so excited about Clint Kubiak. It's the unknown, and the defense. When they're going against Clint Kubiak in practice, they're not seeing that. They're not seeing the same thing they've been seeing for all these years. Demario Davis been practicing against that Sean Payton, Pete Carmichael offense for all these years. Like, they know what's going to happen. After a while, it gets just boring. So when you're seeing new things, it's better. The only way it will be intensified and exciting is if, like I say, sometimes it ain't about the talent, it's the mindset. Those practices when we had Drew Brees against Jonathan Vilma, they were very intensified because Vilma wanted to beat Drew Brees and Drew Brees wanted to beat Vilma. They were both the quarterback of the defense and the offense. So it was just so much camaraderie, and there was so much intensity in the practices. People were holding people accountable. Pete Carmichael, if people messed up, when nobody going back over the things and correcting things, and you can't tell me that Dennis Allen was just oblivious to all this. He knew what was going on. He still allowed it because, once again, just a bad decision maker to me. But it's going to be a damn show exciting preseason. It's going to be a damn exciting off season. Like the preseason, I just can't wait to see Jake go perform. I can't wait to see Spencer go perform. Me personally, I'm team Spencer because I just think what you said with the upside of his arm talent, the upside of his mobility. If both of these guys turn out to be good, develop into good starters one day in the future, I just think you got a little bit more on the plate when it comes to Spencer Rattler than a Jake Hanna, unless Jake Hanna is just so smart and he's just not beating you off his talent. He's beating you off once again, his mentality. And, if he's just this smart, he's beating people off his IQ. Like, he's audible into the right plays. He's throwing guys open, things of that nature. So I'm just real excited. But I'm a Jake fan too. I've been a Jake fan since we drafted him. And I was like, man, if this dude could just come in and just, develop, maybe we got something with this kid. So it's going to be very exciting to me when I see those two guys come in with their units, and we just going to see what happens. But, it's still a lot of question marks, man. We just can't afford no injuries on the offensive line. We can't. That's another thing. We're a receiver, like I said before. What if Chris Olave go down? We got Rashid Shaheed, Bud Means, and Cedric Wilson. Like, we can't. You need depth in this league. You need depth in this league in case a guy go down for multiple games or a few games. You need depth to make up for that. And I'm not sure we got a lot of depth on a lot of these units. And the units that I'm talking about are the meat and potatoes of a roster. Quarterback, we already got a mid starter. Running back. A lot of people are down on Jamal Williams. I just think Jamal Williams lost a lot of weight when he came, and I think that lost him being able to truck people when he came to New Orleans from Detroit. But I still believe in Jamal Williams. I believe in Kendre Miller. I think Kendre Miller is talented. I think that Alvin Kamara is just as talented as a Christian McCaffrey. I don't care what nobody say. If you put Christian McCaffrey in this offense last year, I think Christian McCaffrey numbers will be looking identical to AK. You put AK in Kyle Shanahan's offense, I think AK will be looking identical to Christian McCaffrey. I always say that I think the only difference between those guys, I think Alvin Kamara has more balance, but Christian McCaffrey has more acceleration. So other than that, both of these guys are the same to me. I don't think that Alvin Kamara has fallen off, and I think he's going to get way more from a Clint Kubiak, but it all starts up front. Like I said, once again, it ain't about your talent. It's about your mindset. And to me, I feel like the only guy who just got that mindset, is just a few guys in the offensive line. But some of them, they're going to be, struggling with their capabilities. And, if people start talking, there's going to just get to their head. I think a lot of times Trevor Penning was struggling like that. And you pulling him from out the game and stuff, and you just sitting him on the bench, not putting him in heavy packages, that kind of mess with a guy mind. He start probably doubting himself. Like, it's only going to come off of repetitions. It's going to come off of reps, and he's going to have to get a lot of reps if he's making this transition to the right tackle, and Fuaga making this transition to left tackle. So we're going to have to see what comes there. I think our deepest unit by far is the secondary. Now, if I'm going to give credit to Dennis Allen, I think he's a good secondary unit coach because he played secondary when he was in college. So, that secondary, I'm not worried about the secondary at all. I don't care if we get Justin Simmons. I believe that Jordan Howard could do good. I don't care if we get, any safeties, even if we was to trade Sean. If we trade Sean, I definitely feel like, okay, this team really not going nowhere. But, with Sean, I feel like, okay, let's see what can happen. They probably could win a division because I just don't think the division all that good, but when it comes to the secondary, I feel like that's our deepest unit by far. And on top of that, I think that Dennis Allen just knows what he's doing with that unit, but he still has question marks when it comes to stopping the run. We thought that Nathan Shepard and Colin Side was going to come up in here and stop the run when we got rid of on your mama. We got rid of all these guys. We got rid of the guy who stiffed on Matt Ryan. I forgot his name. His name. Shy Tuttle. We got rid of these guys, and we thought that these guys were going to be just those guys who just going to stop the run. We seen Colin Sanders doing backflips and all the athleticism, running down mobile quarterbacks, but it just ain't translate when it got to us. In my opinion, I think his saving grace was him being on fullback packages, and a lot of fans were just thinking he's just a fun player. But to me, he was underwhelming. I think Malcolm Roach did better than him when it comes to just defensive tackle play and stopping the run. I feel like ever since we traded Malcolm Brown, we could not stop the run when it came to the Saints defense. And that's what was making teams one-dimensional. They had to go to throwing the ball. And when they go to throwing the ball, okay, now you're playing into our strength because we got a good secondary. So we got to figure out, can we stop the run? Can we rush the passer? Another question mark. Chase Young, he got this neck surgery. That is neck surgery. That's not that's something important, we got Carl Granderson. He's a beast, but, that's just one guy. We're going to see how Brian Brzee comes into his second year. Maybe he could take the starting job from Colin Sanders if he just takes that big leap. So we're going to see. But other than that, we got some question marks on stopping mobile quarterbacks. We play Jalen Hurts. We play Patrick Mahomes. We got our fair share of mobile quarterbacks on our schedule that's going to be testing us to see if we could stop these things. Linebacker, I feel like linebacker is pretty, good. I think that Willie Gay, whatever way we about to use him should have been the way we should have been using Zach Bond. We should have been using Zach Bond in more different type of exotic ways. So, when it comes to defense, overall, I don't think Dennis Allen just this defensive guru like people are saying, but he is good with the secondary. I think Dennis Allen really just benefited, even with Sean. I think Sean benefited from that 2017 draft when we got Ram. We got Alvin Kamara. It extended Drew Brees' career and extended Sean Payton time too. I think Sean Payton probably would have been up out of here had we didn't get that draft. We got Marshawn Lattimore. That definitely helped out Dennis Allen with his defense. He could just shut down the whole side of the field. We had a free agent come in, DeMario Davis. He's just a leader. He's just an ageless wonder. He's a beast. We had Malcolm Brown and Cam Jordan. We had a lot of these guys. We had a ball hawk safety, Marcus Williams. So I really feel like I don't think Dennis Allen just this defensive guru. We thinking he really benefited from a lot of good players as well as Sean. But Sean has proven that he don't just need good players. He can scheme up some shit and he could get some wins. But we're gonna see, man. It's gonna be a very interesting off season. It's gonna be a very interesting preseason, and I just can't wait.
Oh, definitely. And to kind of piggyback off of you, I think one of the person that we lost, on that D line that was like, was very helpful against the run was Rankins. Remember, Sheldon Rankins used to be so damn good, and you let him go.
Sheldon Rankins fan.
Yeah, and you let him go. He was a big help on that D line. That was one guy I missed. I felt like if we had him and Malcolm Brown, with Breesy and Saunders, that'd be a killer. But
did Sheldon Rankins play in the NFC no call game, or was he hurt?
I think he was hurt.
I think
that's why they got rid of him because
I think him being hurt, Ben Watson being hurt, who else missed that game, man? I think that really changed a lot of.
We had a lot of people hurt because this thing you had Tommy Lee Lewis had all people going for the catch.
Yeah, man. We had Tommy Lee Lewis. We had who was that guy? We had our third string tight end out there.
Yeah, I forgot his name though, but Arnold. Was it Dan Arnold?
Yeah, it was Dan Arnold. He dropped the pad because Ben Watson got hurt, and then we had the other guy. I forget his name too. He was a Sean Payton type of guy. Sean Payton really liked him. I forgot what was his name. He was a tight end. He was a second string tight end. Yeah.
I know who you're thinking about. It's
Damn, I forgot his name. Somebody put it
Um,
down in the chat.
it's Hill, I think, something Hill, isn't it?
Yeah, it was Hill. I forgot his first name.
Yeah, I forgot his first name. He has the little cross on his thing. He caught
Yeah,
the 540 pass touchdown, I think.
yeah, man. But we had a lot of stuff going on. But when it comes to these rookies and people like that, who you most excited about? A lot of people are raving about Hoker. I'm hoping that don't be a Lucas Crawl situation. A lot of people are raving about Bub Memes, saying he could be the next Michael Thomas. Same with A.T. Perry. They saying they could be the next Michael Thomas. And A.T. Perry, he don't really give me. He give me Robert Meacham, Traquan Smith, Marquez Callaway vibes. But he could prove me wrong.
Perry gives me, to be honest with you, I was watching him. He gives me a little bit of a Michael Thomas just because of the physical go up and get it. But then when you watch him play too, and you just throw it up to him, especially for a touchdown or a deep pass, it reminds me of Colson when you just drew it up to him and Colson just came down with that shit. Like, Colson was tall, big. A.T. Perry's tall and big. And I feel like if A.T. Perry wants to put in the work and get some muscle on him, like, get some like Michael Thomas body looking thing, he could probably bully some people. Because like I said, he's got the height, he's got the hands, and I think he's got potential. Bud Means, on the other hand, Bud Means, somebody put on Twitter that they showed like some of his highlights from college and then showed some of the players on our team doing it, and it did almost. Bud Means almost look identical to Beecham with the way their gameplay were. It's just like anywhere you drew it to Meacham, like Meacham was that person that was not scared to take it, like take it right up the middle. Draw it to me, I'm gonna take the hit, and I think that's what Bud Means is. Bud Means don't care. And another thing I like about Bud Means, I like his comment where he said, "If you don't block, you don't get the rock." If you're not a blocking receiver, you can't just help block, man. You ain't getting a rock around here, man. I don't think you deserve to pass. I think that's true. You got to do everything. You can't just be here just for one thing. You got to be good at everything. And that's what I like about him as well. Other thing, I wanted to say something earlier while you was covering it. With the Dennis Allen and everything, how some people don't like him and trust him. There was one thing I did notice though. So far since he's been here as a coach, you can tell like the offense was bad, right? And the decision making, whether to pull the quarterback, pull this, put Jimmy Graham in, all that was terrible as a head coach. You should fix that if your offensive coordinator is not doing it correctly. But at the same time, I was noticing too the defensive side. It seems like the defense never like had that like energy where like I don't believe in this shit. Like the defense was always there for us, right? It was the offensive side. So I'm hoping this season that everybody sounds excited so far. If Clint Kubiak can, gives everybody, hope back on that offensive side, then we might see a better locker room because the defense always shows up. It was the offense that was like down here. And the only person you really heard a lot of negative last year was AK. He just wasn't happy, with the touches, the losing. So maybe Clint Kubiak can get all of that back. And if we can do that, I think both sides are gonna succeed well, and help each other out. And I think that AK and is gonna, I think AK is gonna get back on track this year. That's my prediction. I think he will. And I told everybody this on my podcast the other night. I said I do think I just have a feeling inside of me. We all don't want Michael Thomas going. We already know he's a free agent. He's being looked at by other teams that they want him. But I have this sick feeling inside of me, man. It just makes me think that he's gonna see the Clint Kubiak guy. He's hearing all the positive stuff, about he's holding people accountable for bullshit, da 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 da. And I think he's gonna eventually call in with AK, one of his boys he played with and all that. I think he's gonna find out from them how good, Clint Kubiak really is. And I think if Michael Thomas doesn't find a home, especially like with the money he wants and all that, as I said, I just got a feeling like he might come back just for another season, just to see what Clint Kubiak does. Not because he's not gonna come back, because I know he doesn't like Dennis Allen because they had a beef. But if Dennis Allen can, solve the beef that he had with Marshawn, kind of just fix it and keep him. If he can do the same shit with Michael Thomas, just like, hey man, look, I know we had our beef last year. I drew you on the bus. I'm sorry about that. At the same time, we know that offense was ass. Everything was bad, man. But Clint Kubiak is something different. Like AK's loving it. Everybody's loving it, man. I think you should come back. If you can fix that, I can actually see Michael Thomas making a return this year, even though we thought he was all gone. That's just my sick feeling. I feel like I can see him back because he loves New Orleans. He loves the city. He did so much for the city, with every year for Christmas doing, the children hospitals and stuff like that, Christmas gifts and stuff. I think he loves the city so much. I think he just didn't like Dennis Allen last year with the way shit went down. But I think if they can fix their beef and you can show him the Clint Kubiak and show him what you can get with the Clint, I think we might see Michael Thomas back in the black and gold. That's just my little, what you want to call it, um,
theory.
It's a prediction, but what is it, the one is the one that usually don't usually happen. But it's what's the
Hot
damn name,
take,
y'all?
hot take, wild take.
Wild take, yeah, or hot
I
take.
think I think that I think that ship has sailed. Like I think it's mainly the quarterback and the head coach. Like I don't think Mike would have came here if Derek Carr wouldn't have came here. I think that he wanted to play with Derek Carr, but once he started getting around Derek Carr and seeing how he is, he just like nah, he ain't my type of guy. Like you could see how a guy is from afar, but when you're in that locker room day in and day out with him, you kind of like, oh, okay, I see why he got that reputation in the league. I think that Michael Thomas just didn't like Jameis Winston. I think that was the only reason why he came back because we went and got Derek Carr. Uh, he barely ever supported Jameis Winston except when Jameis Winston had got hurt that Bucks game. But other than that, when we had got somebody else or something, he was like, "Thank you, Jesus," or something like that on Twitter. So it's like, man, he just never believed in Jameis Winston, and I don't know if that's I can't say he was spoiled with Drew Brees
Breeze.
because he's quarterback proof. Every quarterback he played with, he produced. He produced with Taysom Hill. He produced with Teddy Bridgewater on that 5 game streak. So I think he's quarterback proof. I just think he's one of those guys who just after the draft they waiting to see who's gonna come into the season needing help. Maybe some team going to need help at receiver. Somebody receiver might go down, or a team just want to add depth. He just weighing his options. I mean, even Justin Simmons still out there. So
A lot of
it's
players.
just it's just a weight game right now. These guys are having multiple conversations with their agents right now, and they're just trying to see who could have the best fit for them and their family. They're trying to have the best fit for their wives. They're trying to have the best fit financially. So it's just a waiting game right now. And I hope Mike goes somewhere and do his thing, man. Like I hope a lot of the guys that we had on this team go and do their thing. And when it comes to people comparing people to Mike, like Bub memes, and you can find a lot of guys that 6'3", 225, and got these same traits like Mike. But once again, I go back to it. The mentality Mike had, the intensity Mike had when it came to practice, and the will to win. I don't know if A.T. Perry got that. Bub memes, that still remain to be seen because I don't really know him. I don't really know much about him. But from what I didn't see for A.T. Perry, I just don't really get that vibe. Like I instantly got that vibe when we had Brandon Cooks and Michael Thomas came on the team. When we had Brandon Cooks, I was like, oh yeah, man, that's our number one. We good. But it's a different when you just bring in that dog. And that's what happened when we brought in Mike when it came to Brandon Cooks. And like I say, man, Brandon Cooks, he like a Chris Olave to me. He's solid, gonna have a good career, gonna maybe have some Pro Bowls, but is he going to be in that top 5 always discussed amongst the Justin Jeffersons and amongst the Tyreek Hills and amongst these cream of the crop guys? I don't know, but it's going to be very interesting. Before I let you get up out of here, Hoodie, because we at an hour right now. I don't like to keep the people waiting too long. Before I let you up out of here, what's your take on the whole thing that's going on with the Raging Cajun? He done had some comments about Marshawn Lattimore with Bobby Abel on the show WWL. Like, what's your comments on the whole situation? I think that it really ain't surprised me as much because he always kind of threw little slugs and stuff and just said things about certain players. Like, it didn't really surprise me as much, but from the more context that I did get, I was like, damn, I can't believe he actually said that. But what's your take on the whole situation?
Yeah, me, I mean, this is how I feel. If you're not in that locker room and you're not in there every day, day and night, with them, then you don't have the right to say shit. I don't give a damn. Like, if you got your own YouTube channel, you don't hear me saying, "Oh, Marshawn Lattimore's an apple," a rotten apple, this and that. I don't say shit about that because I don't know how they really are in the locker room. Because, like, we not in there. We can't never say Dennis Allen lost the whole locker room. We're not in there. We don't know. We're not. Best buddy with DeMar and say, hey man, how do you really fucking feel about DeMar, Da? Like none of us know. We just hear what they hear. We hear what they say, and I think for a veteran guy, like Bobby Bear, who doesn't play in the league anymore, who actually traded, and left us and went play for the Falcons, our rivalry team, that's probably his favorite team of all time. He's trying to act like he's a Saints, of all time. But, for a guy like that to just talk shit about a player that he doesn't even know about because he's not even in the locker room talking, I think that's just him hating on him, just hating. He's always got something negative to say. Remember, he used to hate on Jameis a lot. Always has shit to say, and I don't like that. I don't like people just talking shit about people when they don't know them, because it's just like Twitter. You know how many people go on Twitter and just bash people and they don't even know that person and they don't even know what type of person. They'd be like, oh, I had people a bunch of times just tell me, I was like, I don't like this player. I just don't believe in that person. Oh, because he's black, you're racist. Have you ever met me? Have you ever met Hoodie Drew in person? I'm not a racist person. Like, I wish you would, not just come on here and just say, oh, because I was white and I didn't say I like this black, receiver. I didn't think he's that good. Doesn't mean I'm racist. It's just like all the bullshit that happens. So at the end of the day, I just don't. I wish people would stop going on social media and just trying to blast people when you're not in their daily life, finding out how they really are. You're not there. You're not with them, seeing what's going on. So like, keep your mouth shut unless you're there every day. Like you're a head coach, and and everybody's there, and they got players at the player saying, "Yeah, this man's a rotten apple, dude. Like he's bad for the team." Then maybe I can listen into it and believe it. But you're not there. You're just a goddamn dude that reports stuff now because you're an old player and you just report stuff. It don't to me. I don't like it.
And he has a huge following with that radio station that he's at. But the main thing was like the accusation of, oh yeah, man, this guy high, is he smoking weed and all these things. Like that was one of the main things, and just questioning his heart. Like and a lot of people show leadership in different ways. Like a lot of people not gonna be a Demario Davis. A lot of people not going to be a Tyrann Mathieu and just be outspoken. They're just going to show you lead by example. Taysom Hill, he's not a rah rah guy who just, well, from what I've seen, he don't seem like a guy who's just out there and as outspoken as some other players, but he showed he leads by example. He don't really post no workout videos, but he's working hard throughout the offseason. And I'm pretty sure that if anybody had advice from him on what his regimen is, he'll give it to him. So a lot of people lead by example in different ways. A lot of these guys have different personality traits. Just like I say, not everybody going to be like a Mike Thomas and just voice their opinion on a social media. A lot of people are just going to keep their true thoughts to themselves and just say the politically correct thing. But man, when it comes to that, the main person I feel for the most is T-Bob, because I love his show and I know he's probably going to get these questions asked to him from because that's his dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, he's gonna probably get the questions to him, coming to him, asking about what did he think about his dad comments and all that, and he's just gonna have to just deal with all this. So that's one of the persons that I feel for the most. But it's about an hour past right now. Hoodie, man, this was a
Yeah.
good show, good healthy conversation between two sides of the Who That Nation. You even
Oh,
had John Barnes in the chat saying we got the most
I forgot to
pessimistic.
ask you something. I forgot to answer your damn question too. By the way, I forgot. Remember, you was asking me what I'm the most excited about, rookie wise, and we just kind of skipped over it.
Okay.
Real quick, my two players that I'm super excited for. Well, there's really three, but my two favorite so far is Fuaga because I feel like he's gonna be something special. And the other thing about Fuaga that a lot of people don't know, I mean, because some people do if they on Twitter all day or they on YouTube listening. Um, Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer center Jason Kelsey, who just retired, was on his podcast talking with his brother, Travis Kelsey, and he was talking about one guy out the draft that he just seen, just the style he plays, how nasty he plays against people, how he's just so good, how he looks like a pro in college, and he said that dude's gonna be a future Hall of Famer slash Pro Bowler. He literally picked out Fuaga, so I feel like Fuaga is somebody I just really can't wait to see how he goes. And then my other guy is Spencer Rattler. I'm just ready for the preseason to see how he does, see how that rolls. And then my third favorite player was Kool-Aid. How can you not say you're ready to see a guy named Kool-Aid play on the field for you? So that would be my three rookie excitements. And then if I had to pick, like an undrafted player, is Holker. If you just watch his highlights and you just look at him, he's always smiling. He looks like he's determined, ready to play. He just kind of gives me, just looking at him, just the way he acts, how he looks like he's always happy in public and just looks like a down to earth guy, but also on the field, he looks like a different type of person. He looks like, reminds me of like a George Kittle, physical and all that, but on the sidelines, like in public, he's just like gentle and nice as you could be, and just loves to play the game of,
I
football.
heard he's
So,
running with the ones.
yeah, he is. So that's what I'll say. That would be like my top four. So who are yours? I never got to hear yours.
Uh, I'm rookies.
Yeah, rookies.
Of course, Fuaga. Um, Shit, I gotta agree with you and say Kool-Aid. Uh, I guess Bub means. I guess Hulk. I guess the general consensus people, man. You know, and of course Spencer Rattler. You know, it's the general consensus people. So, you know, it's gonna always be another diamond in the rough that's just gonna come out and make some noise because he's gonna want it more than other people, and he's probably gonna beat out a few people that people ain't expect. So I'm really looking forward to see a lot of things. I'm looking forward for the Jake and Hayner the Jake Hayner versus Spencer battle when it comes to the QB2. I'm looking forward to see Blake Groupie in his kicking battle. I'm looking forward to see the punting battle. I'm looking forward to see the linebacker position when it comes to Werner and when it comes to Willie Gay. I'm looking forward to see Saunders versus Brazil. I'm looking forward to see just what the hell they're gonna do with Chase. Like, you know, I'm looking forward to see second year players. I'm looking forward to see third year players. I'm looking forward to see Trevor Penning on the right side. I'm looking forward to seeing Kendre Miller. Like when we drafted Trevor Penning, I wanted us to go with a guard. Like I wanted us to draft a guard. But when we drafted him, I said, okay, well, I wouldn't mind putting him at guard. Like I never was on board with him at left tackle. I always wanted him to be a guard, and I wanted Ramczyk to be on a left tackle. But I guess they didn't want to do that, but for whatever reason. But I always wanted Trevor Penning to be either a guard or a right tackle because I just ain't want him to protect Derek Carr blindside because he's already a raw player. You don't want a raw player protecting your quarterback's blindside on the left side because especially when Derek Carr is coming to a new system, and on top of that, he's not just Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes had one of the worst left tackles, but he's Patrick Mahomes, and they have Andy Reid. So you know, I just would never on board with Trevor Penning being our left tackle for Derek Carr blindside. I just never believed in that. So, you know, I'm curious to see who's going to win that guard position. We got Nick Saldiveri. He's in his second year. So it's going to be very interesting. And just seeing Taysom Hill within his new Swiss Army knife role. You know, he's at fullback. We're going to see him doing some motions. He's going to be out the backfield, you know, some plays probably. So it's going to be very interesting to see this Clint Kubiak new offensive scheme, and it's going to be very interesting to see what they're going to do with all our DBs. Like, will Sean get traded? Will Kool-Aid play on the outside? Will he play on the slot? Will Alante Taylor eventually move to safety? You know, some guys they're going to just say, "Nah, I don't want to do this position." You know, I asked that on Twitter, and it went viral. I guess when Alante Taylor said he's not going to play safety, but you know, he said he's not. And meanwhile, Taysom Hill, he's doing anything. He don't care what he's doing. He's on offense. He's on special teams. He'll probably get out there and pass rush if you ask him. He just want to help the team win in any way that he's at. So it's just different type of guys and different type of personalities. But it's going to be damn sure exciting. But man, this was a good conversation, Hoodie, bro. I just wanted to bring you on just so we could show people that even though you got two sets of opinions, you can still have a civilized, healthy conversation and discussion on the podcast about your team. You ain't got to be name calling. You ain't got to be talking over one another. We ain't do that not one time. And we just bring in Saints content creation, infusing it, man. We got John O'Bones in the chat saying we got me as one of the most pessimistic fans and you as one of the most optimistic fans coming along making the content like that. That's just what it's all about right there. We just bridging the gap, man.
Definitely, and that's what it is. Like I said, it's gonna get boring after a while if you just have the same type of mindset all through, on the same thing, because like if you notice my podcast when you watch it, you can tell when we're kind of all on the same page, and out of nowhere you got the troublemakers, like God of Creation, he'll come on the show and start being that troublemaker. You'll see Jay Live come on there and start talking shit, talking like I don't believe it, I don't agree with this, I don't agree with that, but it makes it more fun, and it makes it, I think it makes it more fun in the chat too, because the chat's like, oh, okay, I do see what Hoodie's talking about, but then I also see what he's talking about. Oh, that makes me think. It makes people think, because if not, if y'all think on the same thing, they'd be like, oh shit, well, I never would have thought about it like that because nobody was on the show talking about it. So that's why I like it. And the other guy, the post game, he's got a different way too, and he told you himself on the podcast. He literally said it out loud. He's like, dog, I used to be real delusional where I used to just make the most excuses ever for my Saints. And he said, but now I look at it a different way. And it's not like me. It's not like I'm a guy that just making excuses. I see what's going on. I'm just looking at the other details that could lead to it because I'm looking at it as okay. If the Saints go into this season, Clint Kubiak does his thing like he's been doing as offensive coordinator, gets the offensive scoring. If our quarterback doesn't get hurt finally this season and everything just goes as the plan, we should be straight. But if shit goes down the hill again, your quarterback gets hurt, you do the same dumb shit and keep playing them, and you're not doing anything, then you're gonna keep getting the same results. So we got to see something different this year, and that's what I'm hoping that the stuff coming in, the new stuff coming into the building, hoping that we put that with what we have. And I said, okay, we should have a winning season, and we should be in the playoffs by winning our division. That's my main goal. But at the end of the day, we all can be proved wrong, because nobody's knows, because if you really know what's gonna happen and you can predict the future, shit, give me the lottery numbers real quick because I'm ready to retire already. If I can just do
Put my
YouTube full
Super
time.
Bowl pick in right now.
Yeah, I wish we could, but we can't. So at the end of the day, it's just fun talking to other people, who has different, opinions, different, mindsets and about certain things. And then it's also fun just talking to other, fans. Like I told people, at the end of the day, we might not like the Falcons, you might not like the Bucks, you might not like the Panthers, but there's other YouTubers out there that are just like us, that are just trying to grow as a YouTube family, and try to grow their channel, and they love the game, of football, and they love their team, and it's cool just talking to them, as well, because I've had other teams, YouTubers on my thing, and it was just so much fun talking to them. It's just because you hate them, yeah, we might hate them game day, but after game day, man, we all, at the end of the day, we all people, we all human, and we all just love, just talking the game of football. So it was definitely fun on here tonight, man.
And that's one of the things I did appreciate about your show because it brought that barbershop vibe to the show. Like, you got about four people's on at the same time and everybody saying their opinions. And then when a debate comes, you're like, okay, yeah, it's about to get spicy, it's about to get good. And that's probably the best type of episodes to me. As long as ain't nobody just name calling and just talking over people. Like me, I can't stand when people talking over people and name calling. Like that probably the only thing I think you can do with your show. Like when you got like people and they just start talking over people, you gotta like come in and tell people like, man, come on, man, let them talk, man. Just y'all gotta respect each other and just y'all can have y'all difference in opinions, but just let the other guy talk. And I think that's probably why a lot of other YouTubers they don't do that format. They just bring guys on one at a time, instead of having a lot of guys on just to avoid that type of stuff. But it's still your show, man. You do what you want with your show. But either way, I'ma still listen. I'll be listening to you while I'm at work. I'll be listening to you while I'm on my commute to work. And you probably one of the most optimistic people up out here. But at the end of the day, nobody can tell you that you won't make no good content and you don't know what you're talking about. Over
Yep.
optimistic, yeah, but know what you're
Yeah.
talking about,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like the people,
I,
like when we was
I just
talking the other
appreciate
night,
somebody
move
who
the
know what they're
post.
talking about.
You can remember the other night, you was like, there you go, moving the post again. And I was like, oh, move the post. Because like I said, look, so this is what I'm going to share with you real quick before we head out of here. When I first started my channel, I was like, I can't wait. I went on BizQ show and I went on TJ show, just to introduce myself, talk to them and all that. When I went on Big Q's and I went on TJ's, man, both shows, I had people in the chat making fun of me, saying I wasn't gonna make it nowhere. Uh, you sound like Bobby Boucher, you know. And I kind of just laughed at him. I'm like, ooh, I said, but Mama told me, and I did it, the Water Boy, sound and all that. I did all of that. But at the end of the day, look where I'm at now. Almost to 2,000 subs, where people didn't think. I had people who literally made fun of me come and watch my channel and said, I apologize if I ever made fun of you at the beginning. I'm supporting you now. They said you are better than what, I thought, that was my fault. I had people that literally apologize. And then you got people that just never going to change and they don't care. So that's why I said at the end of the day, when people argue with me and it's like, oh, well, there you are, you're fucking delusional and you're always trying to change the subject or this and that. So like, the night you said move the post, I just try to make it like a funny thing, but also explain to you, I was like, I'm gonna move the post. I'm gonna move the post, just to make them laugh because it's like I'm not gonna let somebody come in my thing and ruin my mood and just, make me hate them and all that because that's not my personality. Like I told people my whole life, I'm about to be 30. I had only been in one fight. And that was because the dude literally got under my skin so bad where we had the fist fight. Other than that, if somebody pisses me off nowadays because I'm older and I kind of got the mindset to like, it ain't worth it, and it ain't worth going to jail just to freaking punch somebody in the face or this and that. I just let it all go in, and I just release him when I get home, on the
Did,
pillow
did,
or on the bed,
did you
just
who?
punch the pillow. That's just my thing. Just because why release it on somebody? Because at the end of the day, this is how I think. They might have just been having a bad day and they had to say some bad shit to me. And that's why I was there. Maybe I'm the Lord guy. Maybe, the Lord sent me to hear that bullshit from him just so I can go release it at home to where they didn't release it on somebody else where it could have turned out bad. So that's how I look at, life. Things happen for a reason. So I just let it slide and just do my thing.
Yeah, man. Well, shit, this was a good content right here we just made, Hoodie, bro. You welcome back on the show anytime, man. This was some good stuff right off the bat. We just came up with it and said, you know what, we're gonna show people that we could just come together and still make some content, even though we just disagreed to the fullest. But of course, people gonna say stuff to fit their narrative. Like I just look at it on the other side of that coin because, like I say, I was just like you 2 years ago, and I was in Matt Moscona comments. I was in TJ Jones comments saying, "Man, we lost because of this happened. This happened. Give Dennis Allen a chance and all that." But once I started seeing stuff for what it was, in my opinion now, and I changed my opinion, I said, sometimes, dog, you just got to go with the logical explanation. But
Oh, I got
man,
one more question for you about that then. Let me ask you this, because I want to ask all the Who That Nation. Because I asked some people this question, some people answered it, some people like, I don't know. What does Dennis Allen and Derek Carr got to do to you and show to you to make your mind different instead of saying, I want you fired or, okay, I can see this? Like, what they got to do? They just got to have a winning season and make the playoffs or go further, like not just a one and done, like a divisional or a NFC championship. Like what do you have to see from them to say, okay, I can get back on the train with y'all for a little bit, but if y'all fuck up again, I'm right back out the door. But what can get your foot back in the door with them? If like,
I wrote this on Twitter actually. I think you had liked it. I said, "What's the standard? Like, okay, yeah. Let's just say the standard is making the playoffs, but how did we make the playoffs? Like with me, everything has context. Like, yes, this happened. Okay, but let's go back and see why it happened. Like to me, everything has context. So a lot of people say, okay, well, he got to make the playoffs. But what if the division still suck again and we only made the playoffs because we went 9-8 and everybody in the division was around the same thing, but it just so happened we was the one who got up in there. Like last year we was 9-8, but the Bucks was 9-8 too. But they went to the playoff because they won a division. So I think it depends on the context. Like, did we win the division and get to the playoffs at like 9-8 and the division suck and the offense is looking like they're carrying the team and it's looking like the defense is kind of taking a step back and Clint Kubiak he get in these press conferences and he get in these interviews and you could just kind of see that he holds command, he has leadership qualities, he has little traits that you could see is a leader. Then I'm gonna be thinking like, man, I think this team is probably rallying behind Clint Kubiak, and we winning mostly because the offense. So if I think that, then I'm gonna want Dennis Allen fired, especially if we won 9 games and we only won solely because we won our division. Now let's just say we do let's just say we do get in the playoffs, however, whether it's a wild card or we win the division, if we could tally up some wins in the playoffs, and I feel like it was some real legit wins. It wasn't no fluke wins like, oh, we played this team because their quarterback was hurt, they had all these injuries. Like it was real legit wins against legitimate good teams, and Dennis Allen is making some coaching strategical moves throughout the game leading up to the game, and it just seemed like he changed and he got the locker room behind him. That's going to be different. Same with Derek Carr, but I just feel like a tiger don't lose his stripes. I feel like you are who you are, like, and if you just change, it's gonna be kind of phony to me. Like, that's the type of vibe I get with Derek Carr. I just feel like he just know how to say the right things, and he used that religion in his favor because it's just like a con artist, it's like a scam artist. He just give me so much of a political person that crooked, but they're just saying stuff to get people to vote for him. Like he give me those type of vibes. But other than that, of course, if they could win the Super Bowl, they could change my mind. If they could make it to the NFC Championship legitimately, they could change my mind. But let's just say they make it to the playoffs. If they make it to the playoffs and get bounced out, I would still want them fired. I would still want Derek Carr to be in that next season, just competed from his job right out the gate. And if he's not the next quarterback for the head coach, then we're gonna just grow whatever the head coach gonna be. Whether that be Clint Kubiak, Ben Johnson, or whoever, maybe it's some new guy from out of nowhere. But I can tell you one thing: I want a new head coach. Uh, that's probably young. I want a guy that's probably we giving his first time to, like how we did with Sean Payton. So I just want to go that route, and maybe we can find our Matt LaFleur or our Sean McVay or something like that. I don't want no old coach. The last time I wanted an old coach was when we could have got Doug Peterson. Like I wanted Doug Peterson over Dennis Allen and Dennis Green. Um, Now what's his name? Dennis Green? Nah, not Dennis Green. What was the guy from the Chiefs? The one that everybody wanted from the Chiefs, and he not even a head coach.
Oh, I don't even know his name, to be honest with you.
I'm saying Dennis Green, but that's the old head coach from the Cardinals, I believe. But the guy who was coaching with Andy Reid, he was the offensive coordinator, and everybody wanted him.
Benemy, or whatever his name
Yeah,
was.
Eric Bieniemy. Like
Okay.
I wanted Doug Peterson over Eric Bieniemy because I felt like, man, this was a guy who won a Super Bowl with his backup quarterback. Like he's faced adversity, he's seen it, and he beat the odds, and he won. He got the experience. So
Yep.
that's who I wanted. But other than that, I want a young head coach. But to answer your question, for me to get one over, we got to legitimately make the playoffs. Like I want to make the playoffs and not make it the way the Bucks made it. Like I want to legitimately win a division, and it got to be clear cut. Like yeah, we were division winners, and we won this legitimately. We beat good teams.
Like
Uh,
beat the Eagles, beat the Cowboys,
yeah,
beat
we
the
were
Chiefs.
extrapolating wins. It ain't no loss, win, loss. It ain't no up and down roller coaster season. We're really extrapolating wins. Like Dennis Allen never won more than 3 games. And those 3 games that he every time he won, it wasn't legitimate to me. It was always because something else. So if we could just do that, then I'll say okay, I'll give these guys another chance. But it's hard for me to just. I feel like a zebra don't lose his stripes. I feel like if we really are having success, I feel like it's because maybe Derek Carr is just probably playing at an MVP level. You mentioned a good coach in Philly. Like I don't think he's a good coach. I think another player said they don't think he's a good coach. He just got a good staff and he got a good roster. And not to mention he had one of the best O lines in the league with a guy that you was just talking about in Kelsey on that line. He's retired now. And Jalen Hurts, who would have ever thought this dude was playing at the MVP type of level? And arguably outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. So it's like I feel like all that had to go right for to make it seem like he's a good coach. But I don't think the Eagles head coach is a good coach. So, but that happened with a good ass offensive line and Jalen Hurts playing at MVP level, which I don't think Derek Carr will play at MVP level, and I don't think our offensive line gonna be that good. So, well, not that
Yeah.
good like how the Eagles had. So, all those things had to go right for that coach to have success.
I think the only way you're gonna see, um, this would be my, like little prediction, hot take. You could see a Derek Carr, MVP thing like he was with the Raiders, only if Clint Kubiak and them can get him ready, get him going and no injuries. Because the one thing I did listen to, the Derek Carr, he said he I don't know if you heard him in his interview, but he also kind of compared Clint Kubiak to John Gruden a little bit about holding people accountable certain ways, but not doing it in a way where you just are so aggressive and so mean towards it. It's like you hold them accountable, but you're also saying it in a nice way to make the people feel good to where they can fix it instead of making them feel like they're a piece of shit. That's what he was saying, that Clint Kubiak kind of got that John Gruden vibes in him. And the last person to get him to that MVP level when he was in the MVP conversation a few years back was John Gruden, before he got hurt right before the playoffs and never got to play in the playoffs because he got hurt. So I'm saying he could get back to that level, with a better scheme, a better coach that maybe he feels like a John Gruden. But other than that, it's got to be proven, he's got to show us, can you be better than a top 15, top 20 quarterback? Can you? I mean, anybody can, but you got to go show it. Just like everybody thinks Brock Purdy's the dog now. He's the last pick of the draft. But guess what? He's got a lot of pieces around him too, and a great head coach, a great scheme, a quarterback friendly scheme. That's why I said I just got to see from Brock Purdy's side putting him on the Saints. and we'll put him in Derek Carr's position last year, how much better would he succeeded, in our offense compared to Shanahan's offense? I want to see those different scenarios. Just like Mahomes. Mahomes is so talented, his arm, upside, and everything. But remember, he fell down the draft board. And remember, the Saints was going to take a risk at him. Sean Payton was going to take risks at him. But we got jumped ahead by the Chiefs, and Chiefs took him. And ever since, with a great head coach and Andy Reid and a great, play caller he is, man, as soon as Alex Smith went down, man, Mahomes became Mahomes, and it was just amazing. The question is, can other quarterbacks, do the same thing with a good coach like that and a good scheme? We don't know.
I just think that, man, Derek Carr, the most you could ask out of him is if he have a type of career bounce back like how Geno Smith had 2 years ago in the Seahawks.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the best things that you could ask for when it comes to Derek Carr. I don't think he's gonna have this, resurgence. Like I think he's on the same level as a Geno Smith, Jameis Winston. I think he's on the same level as those guys. I think Kirk Cousins is probably like a step above him, and I think that Matt Stafford is like a step above Kirk Cousins. But other than that, I think he's in that blend of all those guys right there on that tier. But just because you're in that tier don't mean that a head coach could elevate your play and, do good things with you, because he proved it with Geno Smith. Then he left and proved it with I think Baker Mayfield. Now he got a head coaching job. So, and then that's another thing. If Clint Kubiak do that, what then is Allen going to do if Clint Kubiak decides to get a head coaching job? Now we're going to have to try to find lightning in the bottle somebody else. So we're going to be right back to square one and try to find lightning in the bottle again with another good offensive coordinator. But a lot of these guys are running this offense now, but it ain't just about running the offense. It's about knowing what plays to call and what players to utilize in certain moments. That's what it's mainly about.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see.
That might be our best. That might be our best. The best option anyway. To be honest with you, if Clint Kubiak comes in, we actually win and have a winning season and make it to the playoffs, win a few games, but it's not to where the whole organization noticed. It's just, Dennis Allen became a good head coach. It was because of Clint Kubiak. The offense was scoring 35 points instead of 15, 20 points. We're actually winning games because of the offense, not because of the defense. And then they realized it because I think the best thing for the Saints is to find a guy that is really good at his job, but knows in his heart and has been proven that he cannot be a head coach no matter what. Dennis Allen, perfect example. He didn't do good with the Raiders, right? He's trying his second stint with us now. If this doesn't work out, I don't think no other team's going to give him a shot again. He's done with it, so he's got to be a defensive coordinator.
Same question for you. So same question for you. You asked me, what'll make me change my mind? What'll make you change your mind and just say, well, you know what? After this season that we just had, I don't want Dennis Allen to be our head coach. And Derek Carr, he's just going to have to compete with whoever's going to be that quarterback. But he just can't get the starting job. Just hand it to him. What'll have to happen for you to say that?
Most likely just him not changing from last year, trying to throw people on the bus, trying to be a little pussy behind, with the interviews, be more real with it, like.
I know all that, but I'm talking about ultimately, like, what our record would have to be, like, what would have to happen?
Oh, what our record? Oh, so basically, what was gonna make me say get the hell out of here? if literally there's no injuries at all and we just losing, and you can tell it's more on your part just as a coach instead of everything. Because if Clint Kubiak comes in and we scoring, and it's like the Sean Payton era where you were scoring, but you was losing because the defensive side just was not doing it. Like as a head coach, you're just not cutting it, and you're not out coaching these other coaches. Because they just outsmarting you because they a better coach and smarter. Then that's really gonna get to me. You'd be like, yo, you gotta beat these teams. Like you can't just like you said beat just them because they're the Falcons, or you can't beat them just because they the worst team in the NFL. I gotta see them and show me like, okay, we actually beat the Eagles, and it's not because somebody was hurt and we cheated. We actually won because the offense was good, your defense was good, you made good decisions, you actually kicked the field goal when we needed to, you actually went for it when we needed to instead of being a pussy and kicking field goals all game and letting the team beat us. I need to see some more. That's what's wrong with him. He's not aggressive, right? That's
what if we win 9 games? What if we win 9 games and don't make the playoffs, and the defense still where it's at, and the offense improved?
Then that's where I'm gonna look at it again and be like, what happened this season? What was the fucking problem? You gotta look back at it.
Were we relatively healthy? We win 9 games. we missed the playoffs because let's just say the Bucks or the Falcons win 9 games too, but they just made it in the playoffs because they just won a division. And let's just say the defense played about up to expectations, about what we thought. They're going to be a pretty good defense. But let's just say the offense improved under Clint Kubiak, but we were still losing. We lost 8 games. What would
To
you
be
want?
honest, which I don't know, could you back? Because you still at the same season. You still have a winning record. You're still 9-8.
Oh,
It's not
come
holding you back.
on,
You know
Hoodie.
what I'm saying?
Come on, Hoodie. Come on, Hoodie.
Like I said, I think what's gonna have to happen. I wouldn't have to say it's 9 wins. What would have to happen is
So you won't
everything.
want him
No
fighting if
injuries.
that happens. You won't want
No,
him fighting if that happens.
no. I want it to where not a 9-8, but if you got no injuries and literally the season just goes bad because it's just the coaching bad, like you literally won 6 games. 7 games, and you just went from a 7-win team to a 9-win team, and now you went back down to like a 7 or 6. That's probably where I'd be like, okay, you're
What
done.
about 8?
Like
About 8.
I say, yeah, because you just got another record less than what you did.
So you'll want Dennis Allen back for a 4th year with 8 wins?
No.
Oh.
I said he'll have to go if you only get 8 wins because you just went downward. Like I said, I'm looking at it as every year he's been improving. Since he's been here, 7 wins, 9 wins. If you can prove me wrong again and get 10, we'll get the same, at least get the same, get 9. But I want you to get more because your offense is supposed to be a hell of a lot better. Give me 10, 11, 12 wins, I'm still in. But if you go get worse and you get 8 wins or you get 7, or 6, I got nothing else to say about you. You didn't have no injuries. The offense was doing their thing. You were just losing games because you was getting out coached. Then that's the nail in the coffin for me. It's like, I'm done with you now. Like, so give me somebody that can actually outcoach another coach, But I got to see it, though, because like I said, last year, I couldn't really fully judge him off of everything because the offense was shit. It was predictable. And our quarterback was hurt, which he should have been off the field. Those things made my mind think, okay, well, Clint Kubiak's here. If you holding people accountable, if Derek Carr gets hurt again, you tell Dennis Allen to make sure he doesn't play a fucking hurt quarterback.
That's the difference of the coin that we looking at. Because you're saying it's because of Derek Carr injury, but I'm saying, okay, Dennis Allen should have pulled Derek Carr and played Jameis. That's the reason why we have Jameis Winston. That's the reason why we had Andy Dalton. For if this guy is in practice, he can't go. He can't go. But you still play him anyway. We played the Bucks, and this dude ain't practiced all week. The day before the game, that's when he practiced, and then he played. Like, come on, man. Like, Jameis Winston was literally right there. Not to mention, it's the Bucks. Of course, he's going to have that extra edge to him and play, and try to beat that team in a dome. I think we probably would have won that game, dog. Like, I just really feel like that. So,
It
just
and that's the other thing too. And that's the other thing too. The Packers game, right? When Derek Carr got hurt, that's another thing that they got to do as a coaching staff. I think Clint Kubiak's going to be different, because he's the offensive side now. Like, he's a lot smarter. But when we got hurt in that game, right when you drew Jameis Winston and dog, y'all changed the game plan up. Y'all just played so safe with the ball. Y'all didn't even give a shit. It was like what Carr was doing. Let him do the same thing. Let him be him. Don't play safe with it. That's why we lost that game, to be honest with you. They were being so safe with it. It was like, go 3 and out. Go 3 and out. Trust my defense. But eventually, Packers caught up in the 4th quarter and won 18-17. If you would have just been a little bit more not as safe with it and just played the game of football, you probably could have scored maybe another touchdown or 2. But you were being so safe with it, and that's what pissed me off. Some of the coaching wise too. Why be safe with it just because you got a backup in? Just let them play. Because when you play safe with it, they know you're going to be, and they're going to know what to do. They're going to know what to run against you, and then you get stopped. And then, like the Vikings game, we lost that game. But guess what? You actually let Jameis rip it. He did his thing. He actually started making a comeback, remember? Touchdown to Olave. Touchdown all the way across the field to Perry. We was looking like it, but the defense just couldn't stop Dobbs. And that was the end of the game up right there. And I think Jameis drew 1 or 2 interceptions in that game too. But at least let him rip it. At least let him play. But if you were just being conservative, we would have got our ass whipped.
A lot of times they feel like he go off script, and they don't like when he go off script. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. All I know is it could be 2 sides of the coin. Like, when a team does have adversity, that's when I really look at the coaching. Like when a coach could win despite injuries and despite this happening and that happening, I think that he coached a hell of a season. Like, I really feel like Dennis Allen 9-8 is way different than Sean Payton 9-8 when I told you on the show, because Sean, we had one of the worst injuries seasons ever. Like, you know, all these we literally had the most variations of starters a team has ever did in the history of the league, I think. So it's like that 9-8 was more impressive. Like we had Jameis Winston, like a guy who nobody believed in, you know, I thought he was just trash. You know, we had him at 5-2. And I really felt like if Jameis would have never got hurt,
we
we
would
would
have
have
been in
still
the playoffs,
made the playoffs.
winning.
You know, that defense was stopping the run and stuff that year, you know, and we made them one-dimensional by stopping the run, and we made them one-dimensional because they had to pass because the offense, well, nah. Our offense went all that, but we were just doing just enough. Like Sean Payton was just cooking up just enough, you know, when it came to Jameis and Alvin Kamara and those trash-ass receivers. Like,
That's the
I
one
was
thing
so
I
mad.
hate. That's what I hate about Sean. It's like, Sean, why are you so delusional to yourself and thinking that I can go get a guy at a gas station to play receiver and we're gonna win? Why not just go get the talent, dog? You could have been hella better, but you were stupid enough. You know, you're delusional. Like that's the thing that killed
Because
me
he
with
was
Sean
doing it with
Payton.
Drew, because he was doing it with Drew Brees all them times. You
I
know,
know,
all
but
the time
that's
we
the
had
thing
a
that
good
killed me.
receiver when we had Colston, Cooks, and Michael Thomas when Drew
And
Brees was there.
Henderson and all of them. Like that was the
Well, I'm
good
just talking
days.
about like a legit one legit person. Like other than that, we never really had multiple except when Colston, not Colston, except when Michael Thomas and Brandon Cooks. Like that was like two kind of like legit number ones. But
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, that's another thing. You remember you were talking about the 9-8 season, and you said that looked a little bit more impressive to you because of the Sean Payton, you know, having all these different quarterbacks, and we still won 9 games. But you also got to put it in perspective. The reason why we won a lot of those games too was because of our defense, and your defense was Dennis Allen. You know, he's the one that was holding it down. You know, if it wasn't for our defense, let's say, you know, it's the Sean Payton, no Dennis Allen, and I don't know who was the guy we used to have when we won 7-9. It was like Rex Ryan or something like that, or whatever his name was. If we had him at DC with Sean Payton that year, that record would not been 9-8. That record would have been ass. We would have been like 5-11 because our defense would have not won us games. We would have got spanked because, you know, Sean Payton was trying to do so much experience with the offense. You know.
yeah, but I feel like we didn't really start taking hits in Dennis Allen 9-8 until week 10. That's when Marshawn, that's when Michael Thomas went down. Other than that, we had plenty of opportunities to go out there with a decent roster to win these games. Yes, Derek Carr was injured, but that was on Dennis Allen for playing him. We could have easily put Jameis Winston in those games. And I think that we could have been doing fine. Like, because if Jameis Winston would have been playing, like I said, we didn't get hurt till week 10. So
What about the play calling though too? Like, what about the play calling though? Because we all seen it, and even other teams said it on their sideline. Like, this offense is so predictable. Like they knew what Pete
to me,
Carmichael was
that's
going to do.
Dennis Allen fault. You allowing this to happen. You're not holding Pete Carmichael accountable. That's the same thing with Mike Tomlin. Everybody kept on, those Pittsburgh Steelers fans were putting Mike Tomlin feet to the fire, and this is a Super Bowl head coach. They're like, you gotta fire this offensive coordinator. Same with the Bills. They was like, you gotta fire this dude. That's the big boy decisions you gotta make when you're the head coach. That's why.
But he can't fire nobody. At the end of the day, it's up to Mickey Loomis. It's up to the GM to really fire somebody.
The head coach could very well say, man, I need this to happen for us to be successful.
He did it this season though. This offseason, he said, "Fuck it, I'm changing the whole things." And there's a lot of good coaches in here now.
Pete Carmichael ain't want the job in the first place. So first chance he got up out of there that they let him get up out of there, he did. They begged him to do that position the first year and the second year. So,
yeah. Cause I think what they were trying to do the first year or two, I bet you they were probably trying to keep the culture together. They were trying to say, Sean Payton's going to at least have part of a Sean Payton in here.
Yeah,
and then we found out that motherfucker really wasn't a Sean Payton. He was worse than a Sean Payton. Like, he was terrible. And I think that's what happened. But now he said, fuck it, dude. We're going to have to get somebody that is proven that can run an offense, because he says, I already know my defense is good. I just need an offense.
And that's another thing. Pete Carmichael was with Sean Payton all them years. And when he finally got his shot, yes, we still had a good offense, but we had Drew Brees. Drew Brees was really, controlling a lot of that stuff on the field, automating out these plays, and Drew Brees know that playbook like the back of his hand. Clint Kubiak, it's not no guarantee that this guy is just gonna have that. That's just like how Pete Carmichael with Sean Payton, there's no guarantee that Clint Kubiak gonna look like Kyle Shanahan. And yes, when he did coach those games when he had the Vikings, that's Justin Jefferson. This dude is cold. That is Delvin Cook in his prime. That is, once again, I told you, I think Kirk Cousins is a step above Derek Carr. Like, I just think Kirk Cousins just got it. I just think Kirk Cousins just got it in him. But you
He got
know,
that. He got that.
he got that
It's not.
fire. He
It's
just
not
turned.
the dog. It's not the dog, but he'll wear the gold teeth and the chains with him. But Derek
Yeah,
Carr's just kind of like just chill.
he just that gunslinger, dog. He just that gunslinger. Kirk Cousins, he gonna go out there and try to kill you. He gonna try to slice and dice you up, just like how Matt Stafford. Like, these dudes just gonna go out there and try to slice your ass up. And Kirk Cousins, I just don't think he liked that. Like, Kirk Cousins, I think his best chance was probably, before that injury. When he
Yep.
had that MVP type of season, when he was using his legs and running out the pocket and all that. That was Kirk Cousins' best season, because that's when he was being so mobile. But we're gonna have to see, man. We're gonna have to really see. Like, it's a lot of
Yeah,
things that
T. I
we're
agree with
gonna
you,
have to
T.
have some questions asked, because there's a lot of things that we hoping happen. We hoping that Chase Young could come in, no neck problems, get us 8 to 10 sacks. We're hoping that Marshawn Lattimore don't get traded. We're hoping that Clint Kubiak is everything as advertised. We're hoping that Derek Carr could take that lead. We're hoping that Jawan Johnson, that was just a one-off year. We're hoping we just hoping all this stuff happen. We hoping that Olave could take that next step, be a dog, get yards after the catch, win all these contested balls. Don't have to worry about none of these concussions. We're hoping all this, but it still remains to be seen. The ball gotta get played. But I'm gonna go
Hell
ahead
yeah.
on the end the stream, man. This was an hour. 45 minutes. We were supposed to cap it off at an hour, but when you're just passionate about your team and you're just talking, sometimes it just go a little bit over. But I ain't minded at all, man. Like, it's been a while since I've been on stream, but it was good. We got a lot of people in the comments saying they enjoy the show tonight, man. We got Jerry up in here shouting you out. We got all the usual suspects, the Black and Gold podcast, Hurricane Mike. So, man, this was some good stuff we made tonight, Hoodie. We showed people that you can have a disagreement with somebody and still come together and make sense content. So before I let you go, man, tell the people where they can find you at on Twitter, where they can find you at the Sub to your show if they liked your takes tonight, and let me let you have the floor.
Yeah, if you want to follow me on Twitter, just look up Hoodie Jube, just like it's spelled on here. And same thing with YouTube. Just search up Hoodie Jube on YouTube, and you'll find me. Where we do live podcasts, just like him, and we also do regular videos as well. But that's all I really gotta say, man. If you're a Saints fan, or matter of fact, you're just a football fan, just come join on in, hit the subscribe button, and make sure y'all hit the subscribe button over here on No Cap, No Filters as well. Because like I said, he does a lot of good content, and like he just said, it doesn't matter if me and him agree or anything. At the end of the day, we both Saints fans, we both YouTubers, and we both want successful, for our New Orleans Saints. Whether he wants us to lose because he wants us to get our, a new head coach and everything, or if it's just me, I want them to prove us wrong so we can goddamn win and say, hey, we're in the playoffs and we actually winning. So at the end of the day, we're gonna talk our Saints football and we're gonna give y'all our opinions. And if you don't like it, then guess what I can do? All I can recommend to you, start your own channel and go do the same thing we doing right now. It's not hard. Just start a channel and just go let everybody know how you feel.
Yeah. All right, Hoodie, man. This was fun content, man. Good night, and as always, when I see my guest out, man, like Saints legends say, Dennis Allen, keep doing what you're doing.
Keep doing what you're doing. Who that?
All right, man. Who that?